Welcome to the Protect Circle, where the magical embrace of values fosters resilience, hope, and healing.
Hi everyone, it's Mahi, your Protect podcast host. Today is episode 60, and with me is the brilliant, insightful, and always entertaining Dr. Manaan Kar Ray.
Nice one, Mahi. But great to be here again. Episode 60 already. Gosh, time flies, I guess, when you are having, not fun, meaningful, values-driven conversations.
Absolutely. And speaking of flying, since our last plea in episode 59, we are gaining city after city and we couldn't be more grateful, but we're still at 98 countries around the world. So we're so close to hitting that round century mark, but my inner perfections is a little bit mad. I mean, 98 countries, it's like leaving the jigsaw puzzle 2 pieces away from completion. We need that last push.
I feel you, Mai. So anyone out there has friends, family, or even a distant pen pal, I don't know whether pen pal is a thing anymore, in Iceland or Mongolia, give them a little nudge, a poke, or a loving shout out. You know, we need those final 2 pieces of our global jigsaw. And while we are at it, let's not be shy here. If you love what we are doing, don't forget to hit that follow button, leave us a review, preferably 5 stars, of course, because anything less might give Mahi here a nervous twitch.
Totally guilty, Manaan. But in all seriousness, your support helps us reach more people, share these important messages, and spread the word about values like resilience, compassion, and today's theme, loyalty. Plus, it's for a good cause. Every share, follow, and review makes our podcast more visible, and that visibility might just help us reach someone who needs to hear these messages. So please help us grow this community.
Exactly. We all have a part to play, and you know what they say, if you don't ask, you don't get. Plus, this isn't just about numbers, it's about making a difference, about spreading hope, and about saving lives. So thank you to all our listeners for being part of this mission, for sharing, and for helping build resilience one value at a time.
Yes, thank you. And for all our new listeners, welcome. You've joined us at the perfect time because today we're wrapping up the first book of Sunny's Value Scouts with a value that's really close to our hearts, loyalty.
That's right, Mahi. Over the past episodes, we have journeyed through some beautiful values with Sunny and his friends in Terra Vale. We started with belonging, guided by Penny the penguin, waddling her way into our hearts. Then came acceptance with Cody the koala, showed us that self-love begins with a big koala-sized hug for ourselves. And so many messages actually about Cody the koala and the bushfires and acceptance that really brought it to life. Connection was next, and Ollie the octopus, no one guessed the octopus, with all 8 arms, taught us that the more connections we make, the stronger we are. An octopus and a multitasker's dream. Then family with Elio the elk, who reminded us that family is the root system that keeps us strong, even when the wind blows hardest.
And now, for our final story of the book, we're focusing on loyalty. And as always, we asked our listeners last week which animal they thought best represents loyalty. And as always, you folks delivered some fantastic guesses.
Shall we go through a few of our favorites?
So first up, we have Joni from Vancouver, who suggested a beaver. Joni said beavers are incredibly loyal. They mate for life and even build their lodges together. It's all about cooperation, hard work, and sticking with your family. I mean, that's pretty spot on, right? Beavers are definitely relationship goal setters.
Absolutely, Mahi, but it's not a beaver. We got beaver for a different value. And they also know how to keep things tidy. Those dams they build are top-tier engineering, not to mention that they really value a good, strong home. I can just imagine the little arguments beavers might have over how to stack the sticks. No, darling, this branch will make our front door more presentable.
True. And they're not just loyal, they're committed to quality craftsmanship. Next, we have Ingrid from Stockholm, who suggested meerkats. She said meerkats are loyal to their mob. They have each other's backs, take turns being on lookout, and never leave anyone behind. I love that. Ingrid's right, meerkats are like the ultimate security squad.
I don't know what someone from Scandinavia is doing suggesting a meerkat, but totally, meerkats
Mhm.
are like the neighborhood watch of the animal kingdom, except with a lot more cuteness and probably less paperwork. Can you imagine a meerkat with a whistle and clipboard taking notes? Yeah. All right, team, don't forget, scorpions are on the menu tonight. And keep an eye out for the hawk.
You're cracking a lot of jokes today. And then we had Dan from Chicago, who suggested bald eagles. Dan said bald eagles mate for life, soaring through the skies together, hunting together, and always returning to the same nest. They're powerful, graceful, and incredibly loyal. I mean, who wouldn't want an eagle partner who literally lifts you up in the air?
Yeah, but there's an awful lot of mating going on today. Dan's really onto something here, I must say. Bald eagles have their loyalty combined with a flair for the dramatic. They will be your partner in life and in a high-flying adventure. I can just picture them in an aerial dance, all majestic and synchronized. Of course, until they argue over who caught the better fish for dinner.
All right. These were all such amazing guesses, but it's time for the big reveal. Drum roll, please.
So the animal that helped Sunny learn about loyalty is Seraphina the Swan. We chose Seraphina because swans are known for their deep loyalty to their partners and their grace under pressure. Swans, again, like the others, mate for life, and they navigate the icy waters with a sense of calm that truly embodies loyalty.
And in today's story, Seraphina is going to show Sunny that loyalty isn't just about sticking around when things are easy. It's about being there when times are tough, even when the icy winds blow hardest.
So, without further ado, let's dive into the story of loyalty in the ice. Mahi, your show from here on.
Loyalty in the ice. Goodbye to Elio's family. As the sun began to rise, casting soft beams of light through the towering pines of Terra Vale, it was time for Sunny and Penny to bid farewell to Elio the elk and his family. The forest felt alive with the warmth of the new day, and the air was crisp and fresh. "Thank you for everything, Elio," Sunny said, his golden fur glowing in the morning light. Elio, with his strong, gentle presence, smiled down at them. "Remember, family is your foundation. It is the bond that grounds you, no matter how far you go," Elio said. His younger deer playfully nudged each other nearby, a reminder of the strength and love that family brings. "We'll carry your lessons with us," Penny added, with a little nod of her head. "Goodbye and thank you." With that, Sunny and Penny turned and began their journey toward the ice flats. As they walked, the warmth of the forest gave way to cooler air, and the towering pines faded behind them. The lessons of the past few days filled their hearts. Journey through the forest. Reflections on values. As they moved deeper into Terra Vale, the landscape shifted once again. Sunny looked around and spotted a group of squirrels working together to gather nuts from the trees. "Look, Penny," he said, wagging his tail. "That reminds me of Oliver's lesson on connection. Just like the squirrels, we all help each other, even when we don't realize it." Penny smiled. "Yes, Oliver showed us how everything is connected, just like how we're connected to Tommy and Lily, even when we're far away. As they passed by a clearing, they saw a family of birds nestled in a tall tree, chirping harmlessly together. Sunny paused and thought about the elk family they had just left behind. Elio taught us how family ties are like the roots of a tree, strong and unbreakable. We help each other grow no matter where we are. Penny nodded. And it all starts with acceptance. Just like Cody the koala said, when we accept ourselves and others, we can form stronger bonds. Acceptance helps us belong, and connection makes those bonds even deeper. Sunny felt warmth in his heart, thinking about all the lessons he had learned from his friends. As they continued walking, the air grew colder, and the ground beneath their paws began to crunch with frost. They were nearing their next destination. The cold lands of the ice flats. By the time the sun reached its peak, casting pale light across the frosty landscape, Sunny and Penny had arrived at the ice flats. The vast icy expanse stretched before them, shimmering in the daylight. The ground was covered in a thick layer of frost, and their breath hung in the air in misty clouds. The landscape felt quiet and still, with only the soft whistle of the wind breaking the silence. In the distance, a graceful figure glided across the frozen ground, a swan, her thick white feathers gleaming in the pale sunlight. "There she is," Penny said softly. "That's Seraphina the Swan. She's here to teach you about loyalty." Sunny's ears perked up as they approached the swan, her presence commanding yet serene. "Hello," Seraphina greeted them, her voice soft but strong. "I've been expecting you." "You're here to teach me about loyalty?" Sunny asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. Seraphina nodded. "Yes, loyalty is one of the greatest values, especially when times are difficult. It shines brightest when tested by the coldest winds. An adventure on the ice." Seraphina led Sunny and Penny across the ice flats, their paws and flippers crunching on the frozen ground. The wind began to pick up, and Sunny shivered as the cold bit into his fur. Loyalty isn't just about staying close to someone when things are easy, Seraphina explained, her wings moving gracefully as she walked. It's about standing by those you love, even when the world feels harsh and uncertain. Sunny thought of Tommy and Lily, and how he had always been by their side. "But how do you know when to be loyal?" he asked. Seraphina smiled gently. "Loyalty comes from love and trust. You feel it in your heart. You protect those who matter most to you, just as they protect you." The wind howled across the frozen plains, and Seraphina motioned for them to take shelter behind an icy boulder. The three huddled together, shielding themselves from the biting cold. Seraphina wrapped her wings around Sunny and Penny. This is what loyalty feels like, staying together through the toughest times, just like you stay loyal to Tommy and Lily, even when you're far away. Sunny felt a deep warmth growing in his heart, not from the shelter, but from the understanding that loyalty was about standing by those you love, even in the harshest conditions. The power of loyalty. As the wind finally died down and the sky above began to clear, Seraphina looked at Sunny with her wise, dark eyes. Loyalty is about being there when it matters most, Sunny, through the cold and the challenges, just like now. Sunny nodded, understanding her words. I see now. Loyalty is about protecting and standing by those you love, even when things are tough. Penny smiled warmly at Sunny. Just like how you're always loyal to Tommy and Lily, even when you're in Terra Vale. Sunny's heart swelled with love for his family. He knew that no matter where his adventures took him, his loyalty to Tommy and Lily would never waver, and he felt confident that they were loyal to him too. A curious return. As the sky above the ice flats darkened, Seraphina gazed at Sunny one last time. It's time for you to return home now, but remember this. Loyalty will always guide you. Sunny thanked her for the lesson and, with Penny by his side, began the journey back across the ice flats. The landscape felt even more magical as the day faded into dusk. As they walked, the shimmering curtain of dreams appeared once again, glowing softly in the icy world. They stepped through the curtain, leaving Terra Vale behind. Back home. When Sunny awoke, he found himself back in the soft grass of his backyard, the gentle moonlight illuminating Tommy and Lily, who were still fast asleep beside him. It was as if no time had passed at all. But something felt different. Sunny could feel the lessons he had learned from Penny, Cody, Oliver, Elio, and Seraphina still lingering in his heart. Just then, Tommy stirred in his sleep, mumbling softly. "Sunny, you're so brave," he whispered, as though he had seen everything Sunny had experienced. Sunny's ears perked up. How did Tommy know? Could it be that Tommy and Lily had somehow shared his adventures, even though they had been fast asleep? Lily, still dreaming, smiled and hugged Sunny closer. "We'll always be together," she murmured. Sunny's heart raced with curiosity. Had they been with him in Terra Vale, in the world of his dreams? He didn't know how, but somehow it felt like they had shared the journey with him, even if only in their dreams. As Sunny lay down beside Tommy and Lily, the moonlight casting a soft glow over them, he realized that the connection he had with his family was even more magical than he had ever imagined. The lessons of belonging, acceptance, connection, family, and loyalty were now a part of him, and somehow a part of them too. As he drifted back into sleep, one lingering question remained. How did they know?
Every time I hear you read back one of my stories, I can't help but grow a little bit taller. You know, it's a beautiful story, right?
Yeah. And I think the image of Seraphina wrapping her wings around Sunny and Penny really captures the heart of what loyalty means. It's not just about being there when everything is easy and warm. It's about sticking it out through the toughest conditions. And it makes me think, what do you think loyalty really means to Seraphina the Swan, Manan?
Fantastic question. For Seraphina, loyalty is the embodiment of love and protection. It's about standing by the ones you care about, even when the cold winds blow. Like she said, loyalty shines brightest during difficult times, when it's so much easier to just fly away. It's during those tough moments when loyalty truly reveals itself. And I think this is a great place for parents to start a conversation with their children. Why do you think loyalty shines brightest during hard times? It helps kids understand that loyalty isn't just about being together when things are fun and easy, it's about holding on when life gets a bit frosty.
Exactly. And that part where they were caught in the cold wind was such a vivid reminder of this, wasn't it? It's during those difficult times that we realize who is truly loyal to us and who we can count on. I think kids can relate to this in their own experiences. Maybe they've had a friend who stuck by them during a tough day at school. So here's a prompt for parents or teachers. Can you think of a time when you stayed loyal to a friend or family member when things were tough?
Perfect. And for children, understanding that loyalty isn't only about being physically close, but also about emotional closeness is crucial. Take Sunny, for example. Even though he's in Terra Vale, he's loyal to Tommy and Lily. He holds them close in his heart. Kids could be asked, how do you think Sunny shows loyalty to Tommy and Lily? And then can you think of ways you show loyalty to your loved ones, maybe to a brother or a sister?
I love that, Manan. And I think that's why loyalty becomes such a protective factor for our mental well-being. It gives us purpose and it reassures us that we're not alone. Whether it's Sunny standing by Tommy and Lily in his heart, or Seraphina wrapping her wings around them, loyalty is about holding on, even when the wind blows hard.
That's a great point. And this ties perfectly into another prompt. What did Sunny learn about loyalty while huddling together with Seraphina and Penny in the cold? It's all about sticking together, and there's something deeply powerful about that. Loyalty offers a sense of security that can make even the coldest situations just a tiny bit warmer.
And it's funny because when you think about it, even animals seem to know the value of loyalty. I mean, just picture the ice flats in Terra Vale. You can almost imagine different animals huddling together for warmth, showing loyalty to each other. Here's something fun for parents to discuss with kids. What do you imagine the ice flats look like? How would animals survive there by being loyal to each other?
That's a fantastic visual. Actually makes me think of penguins again.
Mm.
And speaking of animals, it's always interesting to ask, if you were in Terra Vale, what kind of animal would you trust to show loyalty to you and why? Personally, I would want a seal. They look like they are pretty loyal. Plus, they would be great at fishing. What about you, Mai?
I think I would go with a beaver. They work hard, they build homes, and they look like they'd be great friends to stick by your side through anything. Plus, they're always ready to take on challenges.
Beavers are a great choice. So you're going with Joni's choice, actually. So
Yep.
I think kids would have so much fun thinking about this one, especially since it makes loyalty something imaginative and tangible for them.
Exactly. And that's what makes the lessons in loyalty really click for the kids. It's about understanding loyalty not only as something abstract, but also through experience. And I think that's why Sunny started to really understand loyalty more after being out in the cold with Seraphina. He experienced it, felt it deeply. This makes me wonder, Manan, why do you think Sunny started to understand loyalty more after being in the cold with Seraphina?
You're absolutely right. It's because loyalty is something that often needs to be felt. It's easy to talk about being there for someone, but when you feel the warmth during a cold moment, it stays with you. It becomes a part of who you are. Do you think loyalty is something that connects us even when we aren't physically together? Because loyalty, like we saw with Sunny, Tommy, and Lily, really is that invisible thread that keeps families and friends tied to one another, no matter how far apart they are.
That's so true. And that scene at the end with Tommy and Lily talking about Sunny's adventure while they were asleep, it's such a magical moment that shows how loyalty and connection transcend even our awareness sometimes. It reminds me of a question we can ask kids. When Tommy and Lily talk about Sunny's adventure in their sleep, what do you think that means? It really opens up the idea that our connections can exist beyond what we see.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of loyalty. It keeps us tethered even when we are in different places. It helps build resilience, knowing that someone is here for you, even when you can't see them or touch them. It's like having a little piece of warmth in your heart no matter where you go.
And that warmth, those loyal connections, that's what builds resilience and keeps us grounded. For children, understanding that they have that kind of bond with their loved ones can make all the difference. It's about giving them that sense of security, that unwavering support that says you're never alone.
So, loyalty is about showing up, about huddling together, and when the wind gets cold, and about holding on even when it's tough. And these are the kind of conversations that can help children see the value of loyalty, not just in Terra Vale, but in their own lives. So, to all parents, grandparents, and teachers listening today, thank you for having these conversations and for showing your loyalty to the young people in your lives by having these conversations.
So, before we dive into our reflections on the path to belonging as a whole, let's take a moment to discuss how loyalty and all of the values we've talked about so far tie into something incredibly important: resilience, trust, and suicide prevention.
Absolutely, Mahi. So these values, belonging, acceptance, connection, family, loyalty, aren't just nice concepts for us to talk about. They are truly lifelines, the roots that keep individuals anchored during challenging times. When we talk about resilience, we are really talking about how we as people are able to bounce back from adversity, and that resilience is never developed in isolation. It's cultivated through the relationships and values we share with others.
That's such an important point. Resilience is nurtured by our environment, by the people who show up for us. Think of loyalty, for example. When we know we can rely on someone, even in the toughest situations, it gives us strength to keep going, doesn't it?
And it's not just loyalty that fosters resilience, it's all of these values working together. Belonging gives us a place to stand, acceptance tells us we are worthy of support, connection builds the bridges to others, family gives us our deepest roots, and loyalty keeps those bonds strong. When someone is struggling, especially during moments of deep despair, these values can quite literally be life-saving. Knowing that there's a network of loyalty around them can help people find hope, even if it's just enough to take one more step, one more breath. Resilience at its core is built on the trust that someone out there cares and won't give up on you.
That's beautifully said. And that's the essence of our work in suicide prevention, isn't it? Building networks that are strong enough to hold someone through their darkest moments. When loyalty is present, so is hope. And it reminds us that we matter, that there's a reason to keep going.
Precisely. Loyalty isn't about never struggling, it's about holding on through the struggle. It's about creating safety and trust so that people can open up without fear of being judged or abandoned. It's about being that hand to hold, that wing to shelter others when the winds grow cold, just like Seraphina did for Sunny and Penny. Loyalty is powerful in fostering resilience because it embodies commitment. I'm here no matter what.
I love that, and that's what the path to belonging has ultimately been about: creating resilient individuals who are protected through networks of loyalty. When we live these values, we become not just stronger ourselves, but also a source of strength for others. Every value we've learned in this series contributes to that resilience: the sense of belonging, acceptance that allows us to grow, connection that makes us stronger, family that roots us, and loyalty that weathers the toughest storms.
As we conclude the path to belonging, it's time to reflect on everything we have learned so far. Those shimmering threads, as Mai said: belonging, acceptance, connection, family, loyalty. They have woven a rich tapestry in Terra Vale. Each of these values is a part of the fabric that keeps us connected, like branches from the same tree. Yet each branch grows in its own unique direction. Let's think about it for a moment. Belonging is like the fertile soil, where the seeds of relationships take root. Acceptance, well, that's the gentle rain that nourishes those roots, allowing growth even when the conditions aren't perfect. Connection is the trunk, the sturdy link that supports every new growth that emerges. Family is the branches that stretch out towards the sunlight, providing shade and support to one another. And then there's loyalty, the leaves that stay through the seasons, unwavering, offering comfort and protection even when the winds blow cold.
That's such an incredible insight. It's almost as if Sunny is their bridge, helping them internalize these values without them even being fully aware of it. Through Sunny, Tommy and Lily get to be part of something much bigger. These stories are about more than just animals. They're about the values that can guide us towards stronger, more meaningful connections. And now, as we say goodbye to Terra Vale for this chapter, we look forward to what lies ahead.
And speaking of what lies ahead, Mahi, should we tell them around? And speaking of what lies ahead, Mahi, should we tell them about our next adventure?
I think it's time. This has been the final story in The Path to Belonging, but we're not quite done yet. The next book is called The Courage to Explore, and we have an exciting journey ahead of us, full of new places, new lessons, and new friends. But before we reveal too much, we want you all to take part in our next guessing game. Who do you think will be the primary character in this next adventure? Who will replace Penny the Penguin as Sunny's main companion?
That's right, folks. Let's hear your guesses. And I have a strong feeling you are going to get this one given its courage. We know you have your wonderful imaginations, and we have been getting some great guesses with great explanations.
Exactly. Should we give them a hint, Manaan?
I think, well, why not?
Okay. This character is someone who loves wide open spaces, who embodies the spirit of exploration. And just like Sunny, they're ready to tackle the unknown with courage and curiosity.
I can almost hear the gears turning for our listeners. Is it an eagle soaring high above the clouds, or perhaps a fox navigating the forest path with quick wits? We can't wait to hear what you guys come up with.
So get those guesses in, folks. And as we close this chapter, we want to thank each one of you for being part of the journey. You've been loyal listeners, just like Sunny, Penny, and Seraphina, and we're excited to take the next courageous steps together with you.
So until next time, stay loyal, stay courageous, and remember that we all belong. So goodbye for now. Have a good one. Have a wonderful week.
See you next week, everyone.
Bye-bye.